Kitchen. This is Chef Poul, and with me, finally, is the ever so amazing, ever so smelly Chef Amy. Say hi, Amy.
Hi, I'm back.
With camera. Just so that you know, the rumors of her demise are greatly exaggerated. However, I feel like there's a small part of me dying right now because of her farting, but that's just a joke. Welcome Amy back. She's back home right now after getting injured from one of her supervisors at Port Cunnington Lodge, some trash hole in southern Ontario. But yeah, just avoid it, because Angela and Christine are just nothing but trash bags. And abusers, but we'll get over that. So anyways, I agreed to do a video for my good buddy Alan, who is a confirmed bachelor, probably for life, hopefully not. Really like the guy, but one of his biggest issues he doesn't know how to cook. His mother does all the cooking for him, and he doesn't really get the chance to learn from her that much. You know the way some people are, they don't like sharing their kitchen. I don't say that I'm much better, because I really don't like sharing mine either. However, I have taken some time and taught my wife how to do certain things, and Amy's actually become really good at cooking. I mean, she's actually past the stage where it's just barely edible. Some of it's actually enjoyable. No comeback?
And I try everything now.
But anyways, that was a joke. Amy actually is a really good cook. I'm just trying to carry on with her, but she's not in the mood for that right now, apparently.
He's missed me.
I have. So, today we're not doing anything cooking-wise, but I'm just going to do a quick class, or just talk about, or discussion, talk about why a bachelor, why a single person would want to cook. And there's a lot of really good reasons. Like, number one, it's to be sufficient. You could sit there and go to McDonald's, you can go to any of your big name restaurants, and you could spend money. I mean, but if you think about it, if you're doing that, say, once a day, every day for supper, I mean, that's like $20, maybe even closer to $30. There's your gas, there's your time, the cost of food. I mean, for $30, I think I could have a pretty nice steak dinner every day. It's not self-sufficient, guys. Like, you really need to think about that one. Sometimes learning how to cook and developing your cooking skill makes yourself better. It makes yourself appear better. It makes you feel more valuable to yourself and others. And it's experience. I mean, yeah, anybody can mow a lawn, but you have to have a little bit of skill to be able to mow the lawn and make it look good. Anybody can throw paint in the wall and paint your walls, but it takes a little bit of experience to make the paint job look right, to make it look professional. And honestly, I kind of feel like if you cooked yourself and you learned how to cook and make better that way, you actually feel better for it. And I'll give you an example. Somebody in my family used to have a notorious habit of eating cheeseburgers from a restaurant every day. He had a major heart attack. Amy and I knew a fellow who used to be a resident at a seniors manor we used to work at. He ordered a extra large pepperoni pizza every day. And Buddy must have been over 400 pounds.
Easily.
And I'm proud to be able to say that he got past this and learned from his mistake. He's dropped a lot of weight. Actually, the last time I seen him, I didn't recognize him because he was so small. It's just not good to do that. Cooking for yourself, you can do so much better. You can absolutely save a lot of money, and you will feel better for it. And here's some things to keep in mind too. Number one, fat equals flavor. Absolutely. If you go get a steak and there's absolutely no fat on it, it's not going to taste good. It just isn't. Bacon with absolutely no fat on it is not going to taste good. Some people's complaints about turkey bacon is kind of like, well, I like it, but there's just no flavor to it. And that's because there's no fat. It needs to have a little fat. But with that being said, you can't have a lot of it. So some fat's good, a lot of it is not. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Excess of anything isn't good, and that's why having so much fat or so much salt isn't a good thing. And I'll give you an example of why somebody might argue that. This might have been a good 20 plus years ago. The Nintendo Wii came out, and I remember a cartoon strip being put out. Maybe it was Calvin and Hobbes, maybe it was somebody else. And what they say, pretty soon every kid in America is going to be rushing home from school to play with their Wii. And it's kind of a funny joke when you think about it, but the truth is, everybody wanted that Wii. And this, I think it was in California, they had this contest where whoever drank the most water would win a Nintendo Wii. And don't I know how popular it is? Amy and I actually had, 3 Wii Fit boards? We sold 2 of them, made a lot of money out of it. Yeah, we still have one. So it's more of a newer thing. Now you can't give them away. But, 20 years ago or so, you couldn't get one if you tried. But this woman sat there and she decided she was going to win this contest, and she did. She drowned herself to death. She died from drinking water. Excessive anything is it's not a good thing. Too much salt. Look at your labels. A lot of the foods that you're going to cook with anyways already have enough salt in them. You do not need to add more. Somebody sits there and tells you need to have salt to this to have flavor. I disagree. You really don't. And if you're going to add a little bit, I guess isn't going to kill you, but a lot, it might. Sugar. A lot of people sit there and say, well, you need to add sugar to something or kids aren't going to eat it. I'm not telling you this is a fact. I'm just saying this is a rumor. But McDonald's is rumored to have a lot of sugar in literally everything they have. Why? Because, how else are you going to get a kid to eat a big fancy burger, if you can call McDonald's fancy? It's not. But how are you going to get them to eat that when you go home and mom and dad makes their burger and it's just not? Well, it makes sense that McDonald's does put sugar in some things that you normally wouldn't. Just be careful. We cook with things every day, and sometimes you don't need sugar at all. You think you do, but you don't. You eat that toast, it's going to turn into carbs, which turn into sugar. So it's just something to keep mindful of. You don't need to have sugar in your diet. It's just not good. First thing in the morning, you're going to eat a big bowl of Frosted Flakes versus Cheerios. Which one do you think is especially loaded up on sugar? Do the math on that one. And another thing too is, sometimes cooking will win you a little bit of suck-up points. I don't know, I've almost been married 20 years in September.
15. In a few days, 2 days.
And I like to think a small part of why Amy chose to ask me to marry her, and she proposed to me, by the way, was that I cook for her. But in all due seriousness, sometimes if you're the boyfriend and your girlfriend or wife does all the cooking, sometimes if you sit there and you decide, hey honey, why don't you sit down and watch TV, I'll take care of dinner. It doesn't mean go and skip the dishes and order something. Though it's nice sometimes. However, sitting down and actually cooking something for her will actually do a lot of wonderful things for you. It makes the relationship so much nicer and better. So honestly, when you think about it, why cook for yourself when it's so much easier to order out? Well, I could go out and spend $30 on this meal. I wouldn't mind if it was me and Amy and it was something special. But that $30, I could probably make that meal less than 10, and that's $20 I have in my pocket that I could go out and do something else with. I'm just saying. There's a lot of things $20 will cover. It'll cover you like 5 minutes in gas. I don't know. Maybe a pack of smokes are into that. I can't think of much. So, just a funny story that way. But I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about a buddy of mine. And this is probably one of the main reasons that I wrote this. Why I like helping people, why I love giving this piece of advice is start cooking. Because I didn't learn how to cook myself until I was in my mid-20s. And I'll tell you 2 stories. Because I never got any lessons on how to cook from my parents. Not at all. I'm all self-taught for the most part. Some of it I got some pointers and a background from professionals that helped me, right? I was in college and I was spending, mom and dad gave me money all the time to go out and go to restaurants and eat that way because I didn't know how to cook. So these culinary students got tired of watching me eat like microwave meals every day or spending a lot of money at the restaurant because they know I was getting drunk every day. I'm not saying I had a perfect, innocent child or college years. I didn't. So they sat down, they taught me how to cook, and I've fallen in love with it ever since. But the main story I want to tell you, and the main takeaway is, we have a friend, and he was going out with his high school sweetheart for many years. And the one thing is, he's never cooked for her, ever. He said he didn't, but if he went out and made toast for her for breakfast, I think that would be a stretch. He never did. We had a nice long talk, and it's like, you know what, man, if you want to amaze your girlfriend, you want to make her like wow, and like fall off her chair, can't believe you did something for her, make her spaghetti. I gave him some instructions and some pretty easy things to do. And how hard is it to make this, spaghetti and make it look really good, like much better than everything else? It's easy to do, right? But somebody who's never cooked before, it was a lot for him. But he did it, and the results, I'll just say, were really good. Next time I seen him, he was super, like he wanted to buy me drinks all night, and like I won major points with him for that. So, when you're cooking, there's some things that you really need to think about. And that's what's in it for you. You'll be so much better off, you'll feel better, you'll save money. But when you're cooking, prep your kitchen, clean your kitchen space, make sure you have appropriate knives and stuff to cook with. Get your dining room table cleaned off. Clean it off and get it set up. Honestly, if you're going to cook a meal for somebody, why the heck would you sit on your couch and just eat in front of the TV? You just made a special meal, man. Sit at the table, have a proper meal, and enjoy it as like your family or a special event. What's the point? If you're just going to sit there and start cooking something and then all of a sudden everybody's just sitting here shoving food down their face watching TV, it's kind of a wasteful, you know what I mean? Make sure everything's cleaned. You want to make sure, and yeah, I have points written down because I have quite a few things I'm going to talk about here. Another few things you want to think about. Who are you cooking for? Is it your family? Is it your best friend? Is it somebody you're going on a date with? Is it your girlfriend? Is it your wife? Who you're cooking for? What do they like? Do they have any allergies? So things you want to pay attention to. You're getting ready to go on this big date, but you want to cook her a meal, and she happens to be allergic to mushrooms. Well, you need to make sure that what you're making doesn't have mushrooms. If she gets really sick, or she really has to go to the hospital, or something really bad happens, don't do that. Why are you cooking? Think about that. Put that in the back of your mind. Sometimes that will make you feel a whole lot better. What dishes do you know how to make? What dishes do you think you know how to make? What dishes do you want to learn? Sometimes we have a lot on our channel that will help you. Sometimes we don't, but you can go on YouTube and you can find a lot of things on there that'll teach you all about this stuff. Take a piece of paper and write down some ingredients. What do you already have in your pantry? What do you need? Stuff that you'll need to go out and buy. If I'm going to buy lasagna, well, I know I'm going to need the pasta, I'm going to need the sauce, I'm going to need the cheese and meat or whatever else I'm doing. If I'm cooking steak, then obviously I'm going to need steak and some spice, some sauce, what are your sides? Carrots, potatoes, what do you want? And honestly, sometimes you can go out and buy a bag of French fries, or you could just make them homemade. Amy, what do you think's better?
Homemade.
Absolutely. And most times that homemade will actually impress whoever you're cooking for. Do your research. Look at different recipes. Don't just look at one thing and say, okay, that's what I'm going to do. That looks really good. Look at a few. Sometimes you can, okay, I'm going to try a little bit of this from the video, and then sometimes I'm going to try a little bit of that. Always do your research. And think about how you're going to cook it. I mean, are you going to bake it? Are you going to fry it? Try to stay away from things like deep frying. Air fryer's great. I mean, I love air frying, don't you, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Take your time, learn it. You know, sometimes the first time you make something, it doesn't turn out good. Maybe it outright sucks. It happens. It really does. But, you know, try it a few times. Just don't surrender and say, oh, I can't cook. You never know. You can probably do really good. I mean, Amy, have you failed at anything?
Yeah.
So what? We all have. So don't ever feel like, you know, like you suck just because you failed one dish. We all do. Amy has, I have. We all have. Everybody does. No one's perfect. Like, seriously. Celebrate when you fail. Take time and learn why you failed. What did you do wrong? How can you make it better? And when you do something right, take your time and celebrate your victory and be proud of yourself. Be proud because you tried. Is everything you taste going to be awesome to everybody else? Probably not. The fact is, some people are absolutely going to hate what you made for them. It is what it is. I'm sure I made some stuff for Amy that she just didn't like. I made a lot of things that she did like. So, to anybody out there who wants to learn, anybody out there that, you know, has never done it before, here, this is your time, man. Like, take the ball and start running with it. Get into that kitchen and show whoever it is, your mother, your girlfriend, your wife, girl you like to start dating, or, you know, vice versa, husband, boyfriend, whatever. Show them that you can cook. I believe in you. Amy, I know Amy believes in you. I know you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I'm really not that great. Just in my head. But to next time, I'm going to steal the camera from Amy one more time, and then we're going to let it go for the night. This is my most beautiful wife and amazing wife in the world.
Hi.
And I'm just happy she's home. So, Amy, what do we have to say?
Bye. See you next time.
So please hit the like, share, subscribe button, and thanks for choosing Poul's Kitchen. Bye, Amy.
Bye.